97.3. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue.
Flex. Buckle up and join the best. Let's succeed, relieve your stress. So yes, let the music soothe your soul and keep it going just to refresh.
City 97.3.
Accra. Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
It's 5:30 p.m. Good evening and welcome to Eyewitness News, live from our studios here at number 11, Dr. Morton Loop in Adabraka, Accra. My name is Nanatufo Boateng, and this evening I am here with
Hawa Idrisu Mustafa.
Coming up over the next 1 hour, 30 minutes.
I'm saying that there's nothing in the standing orders that can make her set aside a motion by colleague. Let her post. There's nothing in our standing orders.
No, again.
If we want to listen to each other.
Appointments Committee of Parliament begins vetting of Supreme Court Justice nominees after delays occasioned by tensions due to attempts by minority to halt a process. Also coming up, workers of Pambro Salt Factory protest alleged takeover by Chinese businesses. And later, New Patriotic Party NPP suspends 2 executives in Suhum over what it describes as anti-party activities. We'll touch base in the area and find out exactly what these anti-party activities will mean. Stay with Eyewitness on 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and other stories. But later in business.
Banking sector stakeholders dismiss claims more than half of 23 banks operating in Ghana would not require recapitalization.
Eyewitness News is live across the country on all our affiliates, including Premier 100.5 FM, Sky Power 93.5 FM, and Beach 105.5 FM, all in Takrade in the Western region. Join us in the Blue region on 95.9 FM, Greener in Sunyani. We are live in the Ahafo region on Hamas Radio 106.5 FM in Goso. We're also live in the Ashanti region on Alpha Radio 104.9 FM and Orange 107.9 FM, both in Kumasi. Join us in the Volta region on Global 105.1 FM in Ho and at Danu 107.7 FM in Adaklu Waya. Up in the northern region, this is Diamond 93.7 FM in Tamale. Join us in the Upper West region on Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura. In the Upper East region, this is Source 100.1 FM in Boko. And you can join us in the Northeast region on Scarp 101.3 FM in Nankbanduri. The show is interactive and it's also live around the globe on citynewsroom.com. Your comments are welcome via our WhatsApp line 0549 986 996. Hawa will bring us our first story.
The Member of Parliament for Boko Central, MP Ayariga, earlier today challenged the powers of the President to appoint more than 9 justices to the Supreme Court in addition to the Chief Justice. He made this known at the vetting of new Supreme Court justices appointed by the President to replace 2 justices who are due for retirement. The President, in his letter requesting for the vetting of the nominees, indicated that the reason was to fill the vacancy that will be created from the retirement of the 2 candidates candidate that joined the court to make the number 15. But Mahama Ayariga argued that the Constitution set the number of Supreme Court justices at not less than 9 in addition to the Chief Justice. He notes that such an act is in clear violation of the Constitution. And before we hear from Mahama Ayariga, let's have an excerpt of what transpired earlier at the vetting committee.
Why shouldn't you?
When you don't want
it's a constitutional matter that has to be interpreted by the appropriate forum. We are not calling for interpretation here.
We
are not calling for
interpretation.
No. She has ruled that we proceed.
No.
And there will be a report. And the dissenting views will be captured.
There's no ruling.
No. That's what it is.
I'm saying that there's nothing in the standing orders that can make her set aside a motion. My colleague, let her post. There's nothing in our standing orders.
No. Again.
If we want to listen to each other.
Okay.
Yes,
again, Madam Chair, if I may just conclude.
Who take a vote?
Madam, you take any vote. First, nobody is going to vote.
What? We can't vote.
In the House of Parliament,
Madam Chair.
Then you don't want to answer.
So you're objecting.
Our
you are objecting. That's your decision.
Madam Chair.
Minorities of
our work here. Colleagues, we perform our functions using our standing orders.
Yes.
That is our guide, and that is what we use to perform our functions as members of Parliament. A colleague has brought an issue which he believes is quite germane and something, in his opinion, is unconstitutional. And it has generated a lot more concerns and debates. He believes that the vetting must end before this matter that is raised be discussed and, where possible, put to a vote at the floor before we come back. Now, the motion has been moved by itself. I've seconded that motion. Madam Chair, you cannot and you do not have the power to put that motion aside and then go ahead.
You heard excerpts of the confusion that rocked the vetting of 2 Supreme Court Justice nominees early on today at the Appointments Committee sitting. Joining us live now is the Member of Parliament for Boko Central. Also, I'll have you know that we'll be going back to the Appointments Committee for that second half of the vetting. But let's get in touch and speak to the Member of Parliament for Boko Central, the Honourable Mahama Ayariga. Good evening, sir, and thank you for joining us.
Hi, good evening. We are about to start the hearing in relation to the second nominee. So let's be snappy about it.
Right. Quickly, I just want to find out from you that is this the best platform to have raised this particular matter? Couldn't you have done this at plenary when the Speaker made the recommendation to the committee?
I think that I can raise it at any stage. I can raise it during the hearing of the vetting, and then I can raise it at plenary. I can raise it whenever the opportunity arises to raise it, and I did that, and I believe that it has gotten all of us as a country discussing this issue in relation to our constitution and what is actually the proper step. I'm sure lawyers will be discussing it. Sure, the president's attention will be drawn to what has transpired, and I believe that also future presidents will also be mindful of what has happened today. And then we'll force ourselves as a nation to sit down and then rethink that we have been doing wrongly.
Was that the actual intention, to get the attention of the president and, of course, other stakeholders to this particular matter?
Oh, yes, that's my intention. My intention is to draw attention to the fact that what has been happening is wrong. A lot of people who call me agree that it is wrong, but everybody has always assumed that the president has the authority to just keep deciding what number he wants. But if you read the Constitution carefully, you see that there's nowhere that it is said that the president has that authority. The Constitution is actually silent about who decides the number. But then there's another constitutional provision that says that when there's a silence like that, that space is supposed to be filled by Parliament. So Parliament should enact a law, determining that matter. So I think that the president should think about it. We'll raise it on the floor because this matter is not going to end now. It will go back to plenary. The committee's report will go back to plenary, and all that has happened at the committee will be captured in the report, and it will be debated, and the issue will come up again at plenary.
What was your expectation how it turned out? Was this how you were expecting it to turn out when you raised the matter of the constitutionality of the powers of the president to appoint more than 9?
Well, I mean, I raised it because I wanted it to get attention. And I think that the way that our colleagues went about it was what gave it all that attention, because even though I moved the motion, on our side, we knew that we didn't have the numbers to win the vote on the motion, because once you move a motion and the numbers are equal, then, the motion is lost. So why they were even struggling to prevent the matter from being put to a vote, surprised us, because we kept drawing the attention that they had the numbers. So why were they afraid to put it to a vote? Because it is only procedurally right that once a motion has been moved, it is put to a vote. And again, you have the numbers to win the vote. So why are you forcing that the matter should not be put to a vote? So it is their insistence on avoiding a vote that really, I think, also escalated the situation. Otherwise, I believe that would have taken note of the point, would have moved the motion, would have taken the vote, would have lost the vote, and would have continued, and would have probably finished voting them earlier.
Is it that there is a lapse in the Constitution where it allows for the appointment or sets the number of Supreme Court justices at not less than 9 in addition to the Chief Justice, but does not place a bar on the maximum number of Supreme Court justices to be appointed? And is it that presidents who have done these appointments have allocated these powers to themselves when actually it should have been Parliament that would have to enact laws to address this lapse?
Yeah, that exactly is my argument. My argument is that the Constitution in Article 128 simply says that the court shall be constituted, shall be made up of 9 judges plus a Chief Justice, making them 10. That should be the minimum. Now, it doesn't say anything about the maximum. It doesn't say anything about who determines the maximum. And then in 144, it says that the president shall appoint the judges in consultation with Council of State and on the recommendation of Judicial Council, and then with the approval of Parliament and all that. It doesn't also mention the determination of the upper limit. So the president is not given that power to determine the upper limit. It just says that he should appoint judges. So we are saying that under Article 298 of the Constitution, there's a provision that says that anytime that there's a matter in the Constitution that has arisen, for which no provision is made anywhere in the Constitution, then Parliament shall enact a law to deal with that matter. So our argument is that the upper ceiling issue should be the responsibility of Parliament from time to time. So at the time when we said we're moving from 10 to 12, Parliament should have enacted a law saying we now want it at 12. When we decided that it should be 15, Parliament should have enacted a law adjusting it to 15. And I said that even if people say that the president has a discretion, then once you introduce the word discretion, it means that he's exercising a discretionary power, and we must bring it under Article 296 of the Constitution. And 296 says that where the president is going to exercise a discretionary power, then he must act in a way that is fair, reasonable, and candid, and he must enact a constitutional instrument to govern the exercise of the discretion. So the president should have brought a constitutional instrument to Parliament saying that, look, I want to expand the Supreme Court to 15. So this is the notice. And then it will go through the processes of enactment as a constitutional instrument. And then, when it goes through the 21 days notice and MPs cannot mobilize 2/3 to abort it, then it becomes law that the Supreme Court's upper limit is now 15. Then he can now nominate and then we'll get. So tomorrow if somebody wants to, let's say any president comes and thinks that the number should be 15, all he needs to do is to bring a constitutional instrument. And if he has his numbers in Parliament, it will pass. And then he will now make the appointment up to the 20. The same way, if the person feels that it should be an act of Parliament, all he needs to do is to introduce an act of Parliament and a vote by simple majority, and then the law is passed, placing the ceiling at 20. If you go to India, that's what they do. The Indian Supreme Court is similar to the Ghanaian Supreme Court in jurisdiction, in everything. And there, the Indian Parliament always passes a law increasing the number. Originally, the Constitution said there should be 7. But today, India has 33 Supreme Court judges, and that was enacted by Parliament, that the number should be 33. Of course, there are 1.4 billion people. We are just 33 million people. For me, it is not even the issue of the number. In fact, people have been construing my position. My position is not that 15 is too much. No. To tell you the truth, I have no position either way about the number, whether it's too much or not. Those who are involved in administrative justice should always recommend whether they think that the number should increase based on the caseload and etc. But then I'm saying that whether you want it to be 15 or 20 or 25, just go through the laid down constitutional procedure. Don't make it a one-man show that the president of Ghana can do whatever he wants. So he can wake up any morning and just think that the number should be this, and then he just announces. No, I think that the Constitution is clear on the procedure for doing these things, and we must hold presidents accountable to the processes.
Honorable, would you then admit a failure on the part of Parliament to have allowed this to happen over the years?
Yeah, that's true. Parliament has failed. There's no doubt about that, all of us. But then I said better late than never. Even though we've allowed these transgressions to have occurred over the years, there's never, a problem with trying to get the right thing done and then positioning your country better in terms of its constitutional practice.
Well, these two nominees are actually per the letter of the president to fill a vacancy that will be created from the retirement of some current judges, Supreme Court judges. This will not necessarily add to the number, will it? It will only be a replacement. Is that not correct?
Well, if they retire, the number is to 30. If you are replacing, you are now increasing it back to 15.
And this is what you say will be constitutionally wrong?
Anything above 10 is constitutionally wrong without a legislation or a CI.
It appears from proceedings today at the committee level, there was some level of unanimity with this particular argument or assertion that you made. However, the challenge was with whether or not the vetting should proceed. Would that be correct if I say so?
I mean, that's because I moved the motion that we should terminate proceedings and refer the matter back to the Speaker. But then a motion was taken and then we lost the vote. So that's how come that we continue with proceedings.
Well, the majority MPs on the committee seem to have a challenge with your position regarding a motion at the committee level. Is this the normal process?
Well, I mean, I think that there was some misunderstanding of the rules. We have new rules, and so not everybody is conversant with the new rules. But I think that ultimately they came to understand the new rules. I think also that, they were just unnecessarily apprehensive because if they had paid attention, they would have known that based on the new rules, there was no way we were going to even win the vote if they had put the matter to a vote. So when they understood it and put it to a vote, clearly we lost because we didn't have the numbers.
And the new rules and, of course, everyone...
I have to get back into the committee.
Right.
The vetting of the second person has started.
Right. Honorable, thank you so very much. And, of course, we're taking that vetting live as well, but grateful, and we wish you all the best. Thank you so much. The Honorable Mahama Ayariga is the Member of Parliament for Boko Central, who earlier on raised an issue with the constitutionality regarding the powers of the president to appoint more than 9 persons onto or 9 Supreme Court justices. We will be going live back to the Appointments Committee sitting, and of course to bring you the live coverage of that vetting. Mind you, there are 2 persons that are being vetted today based on appointments by His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo onto the Supreme Court. These 2, one we have seen go through the process already, Justice Sophia Rosetta Benasco Esa, and of course the second person will be Professor Richard Frimpong Opong. We will be joining his vetting pretty shortly. We understand the committee is coming, it's just reconvening to vet Professor Richard Frimpong Opong. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll join that vetting session.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Oh, jump on now.
Go. Google me. At what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my go be fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you hand my go be inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the go be too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
I am going to check my name and details on the voters register.
What's the name? What register?
The Electoral Commission, as part of the preparations for the 2024 general elections, is conducting an exhibition of the voters register from Tuesday 20th August to Tuesday 27th August 2024 between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. daily.
Yes. Then I need to go and check mine right now.
Yes.
Check.
You need to check your personal details on the register, and if need be, put in claims for corrections. You also need to know your polling station.
Wow.
You can also object to the inclusion of persons who are not qualified to be on the register. The name of your relative who died must be removed from the register.
I need to go check for my name right now. Yes. Check.
But you need to know the date and time.
Check.
Yes, towards the conduct of the 2024 general elections, the Electoral Commission will display the voters register for public inspection. Make sure you check your details in person during the exhibition of the voters register from Tuesday 20th August to Tuesday 27th August 2024 between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. daily. Alternatively, registered voters can check their registration details on their phones by dialing *711*51# on all networks. Persons who have lost or misplaced their voter ID cards can go to the exhibition centers to check their registration details. Exhibition officers can help check their details even without their voter ID cards. A qualified voter may object to the name and particulars of a person on the grounds of being a minor, a foreigner, not of sound mind, impersonation, or not a resident of the area.
Check.
Your vote is your future.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. The New Patriotic Party in the Suhum constituency of the Eastern region has suspended 2 of its officers, Samuel Ba, the constituency communications officer, and Alhaji Bala Abubakar, the deputy Nasara coordinator, for violating the party's constitution. In an interview with Citi News, the constituency's secretary, Stephen Odame, explained that the constituency executive committee reached this decision during an emergency meeting. The committee reviewed the conduct of the 2 officers and found that they had breached the NPP constitution by publicly campaigning and declaring support for an independent candidate despite the party having an officially sponsored candidate.
In response to our constitution, the NPP constitution, particularly Article 391, as amended in 2017, it's clear that anyone who stands on an independent candidate or officially against an officially elected party member, or who joins or declares his or her support for another political party or for an independent candidate, and when the party has sponsored one, that person so automatically forfeits his membership. And these are provisions that are clear, and it's an automatic provision that is not subject to any disciplinary procedure. Ordinarily, the conduct of every constituency officer, the suspension of every constituency officer is to be exercised by the regional executive committee. But in this provision, once you lose your membership, then the foundation is broken. And because you can also be a constituency officer, you need to be a member. Once you have lost your membership, then your position also stands suspended. And so we took inspiration from those provisions.
He had the Suhum NPP constituency secretary Stephen Odame. Some workers of Pambro Salt Factory on the Waja Junction stretch today protested over what they say is an attempt by some traditional authorities to give portions of the salt mining space to some Chinese for business. The workers, who were clad in red and black attire, chanted songs in their disapproval of the move. Citi News understands that over 1,000 workers are set to lose their jobs if the salt mining space is taken. Some workers who spoke to Citi News said their livelihood is at stake if authorities do not step in.
We've noticed that Chinese individuals have started encroaching on our land and are destroying it. We won't stand for this, as we have nowhere else to go. Pambros, like Sege, produces salt, and we are contributing our quota to the country's economy. We've even heard that Jubilee House spends a lot on salt. If our jobs are destroyed, how can we as local producers support the country? President Akufo-Addo must take action on this. They've even employed land guards, which is alarming and frightening.
We must not sit by as a country and watch Ghanaians suffer. It is unfair to give our land to the Chinese. I urge the traditional authorities to ensure justice is served in this matter. They took over our land without our knowledge, and this cannot be allowed to continue.
Those were some workers of Pambros Salt Factory. Now, NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama has lashed out at the Akufo-Addo administration, accusing the governing party of claiming the NDC has done nothing for the people of the Volta region. Mr. Mahama defended his party's track record, arguing that the NDC has made significant contributions to the development of the region. He suggests that these claims by the current government are intended to undermine the NDC's achievement and sway public opinion and win votes from his party's stronghold. He was speaking at a community engagement at Drapo Methodist School Park in the Northern constituency of the Volta region.
Rawlings time, MPP used to get single digits in Volta region. In 2020, they have climbed and climbed and climbed, and in 2020 they got 14%. And so it means that they are making inroads into the Volta region. Now, what do? They use propaganda, and they come and tell you that you vote for NDC all the time, and yet NDC has done nothing for you. And so even though we can see what we have gotten under NDC, the propaganda is so strong that we actually believe that NDC has done nothing. And yet, if you take the Volta region, from electricity to water to education to health to roads, everything that you find here in Volta region was provided in the time of NDC. And any time the MPP comes into government, development of infrastructure in the Volta region comes to a halt until NDC comes back. Come and choose amongst you 1, 2, 3, 4 people, and when they steal the money, they'll give them some. And so they also will come and give you 200, 200, 200, 200, and you say, oh, since we started elections, nobody has given me 200, so I'll vote for MPP. But you forget that the more lasting development, the more lasting benefit, that benefits not only your community, but generations yet unborn, you forget that it was provided under NDC's period.
He had NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama also speaking at the same event. The MP for North Town, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, voiced concerns about what he describes as a culture of silence among moral society groups in Ghana.
Moral society is quiet. President's daughter's business partners, murky family affair. $100 million has been spent on that useless, profligate, ostentatious, extravagant, needless extravaganza. Something President Mahama never did and will never do. Did you ever hear that under President Mahama, he is going to buy ambulance spare parts more expensive than the ambulance? $34.9 million. And moral society is quiet. President's daughter's business partners, murky family affair. We never saw this under President Mahama. His children and his children's business partners were far removed from state resources. That is the incorruptible leader the NDC has, and we are very, very proud of him.
You heard the Member of Parliament for North Town in the Volta region, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa.
This is 97.3 Citi FM. You're listening to Eyewitness News. Time now to take you to the West Wing of the Parliament House, where the Appointments Committee is sitting to vet the second of 2 nominees to the Supreme Court by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Professor Richard Frimpong will now face the vetting or the Appointments Committee of Parliament to be vetted for a position as a Supreme Court Justice. So we cross over to the West Wing of Parliament House.